over the weekend, I don't know what you call it. You liked or you friended or whatever the Unoccupied Portland, because I read the article in the Oregonian, and I saw a story on the news last night, and I said, these guys, this is great. This is good stuff. And so I dug more into it and found out that they weren't necessarily. I thought, well, surely this must be some Tea Party group up in Portland or something. And it wasn't. It's a group of just folks. And I'll let them explain it more in a little bit. We're going to talk with their, not really their leader, their spokesperson here in just a few minutes, and let him fill you in on why and how and what and all that. But Unoccupied Portland, they have a Facebook page. When I first clicked the like button on it, it had about 127 people. It's now up to 641, and it's growing fast. And they're getting just hammered by the Occupy people. So, so when you guys are out there protesting the Occupy protesters, do you meet with the pigs before you go out so they know who to pepper spray and who not to? The pigs? Really? This is 1968? Hey, man, look out for the fuzz. So I'm having more fun reading the information that's on the Unoccupied Portland Facebook page. It's funny.
Well, Hawaii 5-0 brought back the 5-0, so maybe they're trying to bring back, the fuzz.
The fuzz. The pigs, man. That guy's a pig.
Oh, here comes the heat.
Groovy, man. Yeah, I mean, come on. Stop. He goes by, we're going to talk to him in just a moment. He goes by the name Frank Furter. Frank Furter. Okay? And so Frank Furter will be talking with us in just a little bit, and he is the actual accountable founder and spokesperson for Unoccupied Portland. I love his email, info@porkandcorn.com. Anything this funny is worthwhile to me. So we'll talk to him in just a moment.
Now back to the Bill Post Radio Show.
All right, it is 18 minutes after the hour. Bill Post Radio Show continuing on, as we have with us right now, as we mentioned just a moment ago, we read a little bit from the press release, and I don't know. I'm sitting here crying. I'm laughing so hard. Here is Frank Furter. Hi, Frank.
Hello, Bill. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Your press release, I'm screaming. You're killing me. It's hilarious.
Thank you.
I mean, it's serious what you're doing, but you have to understand, this is so much up my alley. I don't know how familiar you are with our show, but we're not your normal conservative talk show. We're a little bit, we're kind of like Glenn Beck and others, but we're on acid.
Right. Ooh, wow. You guys are turbocharged.
Yeah, we're really weird. Really bizarre show here. And that's why, not that you're bizarre, but what I read some of these things. Well, okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I'm going to assume, because it says Frank Furter alias, is that on purpose, a little bit for protection, would you say, or just for the heck of it?
I'm not really interested in, being famous. Someone had to do something. Someone had to step up and stop all this nonsense, and I'm qualified to do it, and so here I am as Frank Furter.
Well, I had a lot of people ask me over the weekend when I first saw your story, and I first started following it over the weekend, and I mentioned it on my Facebook page and Twitter and whatnot. People said, "Oh yeah, hey, but those guys aren't conservatives. They're not Tea Party people." And I said, "So what? Who cares? At least they're stepping up and doing something."
We're American citizens who enjoy using our public spaces undisturbed by a bunch of confused, angry mobs.
I love the. We don't feel, quote, let's totally stop corporate greed, dude. I mean, it is. It really is. And the thing about, your point about, just camping out with your buddies and Twittering and everything, it's so ridiculous. I get the basic, I think, gist of what they're trying to say. But I don't even think at this point they know what they're trying to say.
Well, it's pretty easy satire. I have to say I didn't have to work too hard at it because they're setting themselves up for all of it. No, they don't really have a message. I mean, these aren't bad people, you know. These are people who are frustrated and feel like they don't have a voice, and so they're lashing out with the mob. And unfortunately, the mob has no clear message and has no measurable goals, and that's the important thing. You have to be able to measure your goals. We, on the other hand, have a clear, definable message and measurable goals.
And that
we want
is?
to use some stupid protests to stop, and we want our city back to normal. So that's something that we can measure over time to see if we have an impact, and that will be our consistent message. I am the consistent leader. It's not going to be some guy you talk to tomorrow that might have a slightly different take on things, or I mean, that's how you get things done. And it might not be sexy to go out there and like actually fix problems in your community, but that's how you make a difference from starting at your front door and going outward.
Yeah. You pointed out so clearly that you make change. If you want change, you do it through the process that we have in America, which would be work, whether that be volunteer work at a shelter or whatever it might be.
Get involved in politics.
Yeah, get involved in politics, yeah. That's what we preach every day here. We say, look, you know what? Shut up and go vote. Shut up and go run for office.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. A lot of them were yelling at me, telling me that I was a Tea Partier. I mean, they'd probably be very surprised to realize that I actually canvassed for Obama, and I probably will vote for Obama again in this election.
No, well,
I'm a registered independent. I vote for what I think is the best idea at the time. I don't vote by some big platform that sucks everybody in, and that's what these guys are doing. They've got this big, confusing platform that's sucking them all into this, nonsensical bubble where they are living in, and it's ridiculous. If they want to affect change, you have to set measurable goals, period.
I love your Benjamin Franklin quote.
Yeah, well, I mean that, your rights do end where my nose begins, and my nose begins when I walk out the door and I want to use my streets and my parks and go shopping downtown. I mean, I live 3 blocks from the original encampment.
Oh, really?
I went and actually talked to them for the first month. I tried to understand their point of view. I was very, very calm and nice. I met some really nice people down there. They're not all confused, but many of them are very confused, unfortunately. And that's, you get into this mob mentality where anything goes, and it's the protest du jour. Okay, what are we protesting about today? My toe hurts. Let's have a protest. There was a guy on our website that was complaining about some misspellings. So I said, well, let's have a protest against misspelling and grammar errors. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's got to stop.
Let me ask you this. Again, this is Frank, who is the leader, founder, actual accountable founder and spokesperson of Occupy Portland. Okay, I like that. I've had some people tell me they feel like this whole Occupy Wall Street thing is sort of we missed out on the 60s. Dang it, we want our own. Do you feel that somewhat?
Mom and Dad had a lot of fun, and I'm kind of rebelling against them, so I want to look cool and have my protest stories, too. I feel some of that.
Do you? Yeah, because that's what I sense. Now, I have to tell you, I'm based out of Salem. We cover the main Willamette Valley. We dip a little bit into Portland, but we're mainly the Willamette Valley, so we have our Occupy Salem group down here. Mm-hmm. And over the weekend, the editor of our newspaper, who I would not consider a conservative in any way, shape, or form, wrote a fantastic op-ed piece where he did the math, and it's really the 0.099% is what they represent. Because there's about 150 protesters in Salem, and there's about 150,000 people in Salem.
I thought about doing the math, too, but I like the look at 0.001 better. I'm not too far off, though.
Yeah, you're close, because here's the thing. I was hammered by an Occupy Portland person. He said, don't you understand there were 650,000 people transferred from banks to credit unions on Bank Free Day? And I said, hang on. Let me do the math. There's 311 million people in America, so you're actually the 0.0000325.
Exactly. You have your delusional bubble and realize that you're not the only person that is occupying this country.
Yeah. So, all right, so what are the plans for the future? Obviously, the Facebook page is growing like crazy.
Every time I look, there's another 100 people on there. It's kind of a little bit concerning to me. I didn't expect it to do this, but it is.
Hey, we know how you feel. I don't know if you heard about what we did here. Have you heard about Occupy SIO?
No, I did not.
You didn't. back in October, I got a crazy idea out of nowhere because I was watching Occupy Salem, Occupy Portland. I said, you know what? Doggone it, we're going to occupy Scio. I don't even know if you know where Scio is.
No.
It's about 40 miles southeast of Salem. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's a town of about 395 people. So I said, we're going to occupy Scio. We went in 9 days, we went from 0 to about 1,100 people on our Facebook page, and we had about 1,000 people in the town of 395. But here's what we did. We raised $14,000 to build their pavilion for their young kids. See,
now that's measurable progress.
Yeah. And that's so I know what you're feeling. When I first said it and the Facebook page was launched and there were 12 people, I went, whatever. Yeah. And all of a sudden there was 1,000. Oops. So I know what you're feeling. So what are you going to do?
Here are our plans for the future.
Yeah.
We are funneling donations into the Restore Our Historic Squares Fund through Portland Park and Recs.
Very good.
With donations that say they're from Unoccupy Portland, people who are interested in not destroying their public spaces. So we're calling it Undestroy Portland Parks.
Great.
The other thing is that the Occupy folks are planning some kind of vigil or thing down at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Unfortunately, it's at the same time that the holiday tree lighting ceremony is.
Oh,
and
really?
so that's, to me, is very rude.
Yeah.
Because that's a family event. So we are not going to be there counter-protesting them because out of respect for people that want to have that space for family time.
Yeah.
Now, if they continue to do protests that are just in places where we can follow behind them and not annoy any more people, we'll do that. I don't really want the numbers to get very big because then we just add to the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want our city to go back to normal.
That's awesome. Like I say, I hardly ever get to downtown Portland, and I have not wanted to go, especially since this started. But I'm hoping, I really do hope, Frank, that this is very successful, and that people, like you said, it doesn't necessarily need to grow in numbers. It just the thought needs to grow.
Yeah. Well, and I hope the Occupy people realize that you can learn a lot from your adversaries. We are not out to get them. If they want to make change in this country, great. We need people like that. But do it in an efficient, smart way. Don't piss off everybody like they're doing.
Yeah. Great point. Frank, anytime you want to call and update us on anything, please feel free. You have the number now, I think, and you have my email. I really, like I said, I respect totally what you're doing. And how you vote and what you do politically is not important to me. It's important to me what you're doing here by stepping up and taking the ball here. I like this.
Thank you.
You bet. Well, keep us informed, and we'll keep watching you, and we'll spread the word as well.
Yeah, everybody go like us on Facebook and vote that you're with us.
I like it. All right, Frank, you take care, and the best to you and your friends.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Oh, there you go. See, I like it.